So in the last video, we went over the concept of percentiles and what they meant. And remember that a percentile just measures basically the value below of all the observations. So you're comparing yourself to the people. You're not actually comparing yourself to the score that you got on a test, for example. So let's explore this a little bit further, where we're going to extend the concept of percentiles to quartiles. Or actually, let me just put this in white. So quartile. So if a percentile measures the percent of people that you did better than, then a quartile obviously measures in quarters. So a quartile, okay. So for example, if I do the 25th percentile, what it means is basically you've done better than, so you've done better, or not just you, but anyone, than the bottom 25%, than 25% of the population taking the test or whatever population. And this is called the lower quartile. This is called the lower quartile. So the 25th percentile is called the lower quartile. So we call this Q1. Okay, it's Q1. Let's do the next one. The next one is the 50th percentile. The 50th percentile. So I'm going to put 1 for that. I'm going to put 2 for this. And this means that you've done better than 50% of the population, which also means that 50% of the population did better than you, of the population, okay? And this is called Q2, but if you think about it, if you're right at the 50th percentile, if you're right in the middle, this is actually also the median. This is actually also the median. Okay, so the 50th percentile is Q2. We usually don't call it Q2. We usually call it the median because you're right in the middle. You're right at the center, which is the 50th percentile. So 50%, you're better than 50%, but then you're also 50% of the population is better than you. So that's the second one, which we call Q2. So that's we don't usually call that any quartile or anything. It's just called the 50th percentile or the median. And finally, the third one will obviously be the 75th percentile. 75th percentile, and which means you've done, let me just do that here, you've done better than 75% of the population. Okay, great. And what we call this is Q3, right? In other words, it's the third quartile or the upper quartile. This is called the upper quartile. And you obviously, if you're on a test or something, the higher the percentile, the better, because it means you've done better than that number of people. But anyways, this is called the upper quartile. So let's go over a couple of examples of how we can determine these three quartiles. So in other words, the 25th percentile or Q1, the median, and the 75th percentile. Okay, so let's go over a couple of examples. So let me go over my first example. So here I have an ordered list. So remember, when you're measuring mean, median, or when you're getting the median, you always want an ordered list. So let me give you an ordered list. So 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 16, and 17, and 17. All right, so these are just a string of numbers. And from this list, we're going to determine what the lower quartile is, what the median is, and what the upper quartile is. The easiest thing to do first is to actually just measure the median. So we can see that we actually have 10 numbers. These are 5 numbers here, and these are 5 numbers here. So we have 5 numbers there, and we have 5 numbers there. Now our median is obviously going to be right down smack in the middle. So here's the median, right? And remember that since we have an an even number of integers or even number of values, our median is going to be right in the middle, so it's going to be halfway between 15 and 16. So we're going to take the average of those two, so 15 plus 16 divided by 2, and that's going to be 15 and a half. Okay, and this is Q2. We usually just don't call it Q2, but I'm just calling it that just for the sake of this example. But this is how you would measure the median, right? And we kind of went over this before. Now, if you want the lower quartile, you're going to look at the bottom half of this set. So the bottom half of the set are these 5 numbers over here. So look for the middle number in this bottom half of the set. So in this case, it's 13. So 13 in this case is Q1. So Q1 is 13. So Q1, this is our 25th percentile. So our 25th percentile is equal to 13. Now for Q3, in other words, the 75th percentile, we're going to look at the top half. So if we look at the top half right here, the middle number of this set of 5 is 16. So this is going to be Q3, and that's equal to 16. So, and that's it. So in this set, Q1 is equal to 13, so that's the 25th percentile. That's the value for the 25th percentile. The median is 15 and a half, because it's the average of 15 and 16 is right down smack in the middle. And finally, the upper quartile, the value of the upper quartile is 16, and that's it. Let's go over another example. Let me go over another example just to help clarify this. So let me just do this. So example 2. So I'm just going to go back to my sort of original set, which was 58, 62, 65, 65, 68, 72, 81, 86, and 91. Okay? So if we look at this, we have 9 numbers. So these are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we want, always start with the median, because that's sort of the easiest one to do. So if we look over here, we can sort of break down that, right smack down, this is our median, because there are 4 in the bottom here and 4 in the top over here. So our median in this case is equal to 68. So our median is 68. So, and we kind of call that Q2, but I wouldn't really call that Q2, I'm just calling that here. But call it always the median, that's for sure. Now, if we want to find Q1, so we have to find the number that's right in the middle of sort of this lower set. So if we look over here, there's 4 numbers. So the middle value will be somewhere between 62 and 65. So Q1 in this case is going to be halfway between 62 and 65. So it'll be 62 plus 65 divided by 2. And this is equal to 63.5. So Q1 in this case is simply 63.5. Now let's find Q3. Q3 will be the middle value of this upper set. So if we see this upper set right here, Q3 will be right there. So Q3 is going to be halfway between 81 and 86. So it's going to be 81 plus 86 divided by 2, and that's equal to 83.5. All right, so Q1 is 63.5, the median is 68, and the upper quartile, the Q3 is, or the 75th percentile, is 83.5. All right, so those were just some examples of how to figure out the lower quartile, upper quartile, and the median. And in the next video, we're just going to demonstrate how to sort of represent all of this visually. So I'll see you in the next video.